Good morning, students. Today we will revise chapter number 7 of English Reader book, and the topic is a visit to Cambridge. Dear students, this is the story of meeting between two great personalities, between two extraordinary persons, and the name of those persons are Stephen Hawking, one of the greatest scientists and the author of A Brief History of Time, and Firdaus Kanga, writer and a journalist. So, both the people were disabled, both the people were handicapped, okay? And both the persons exchanged their thoughts, their feeling to live life in they exchange their experiences, how to live life in a wheelchair, and they also told that how the normal people react towards the disabled, towards the handicapped persons. Okay, so we will revise in this chapter. Students, the writer of this chapter is Firdaus Kanga, and he says that Cambridge was another name for England. The writer was on a walking tour through Cambridge, and at that time the guide mentioned him, and the guide mentioned about Stephen Hawking. He told Firdaus Kanga, the guide told Firdaus Kanga about Stephen Hawking, and he also told that he was a worthy inheritor of Isaac Newton, and he has taken the chair of Isaac Newton in Cambridge University. Means Stephen Hawking. The guy told Firdaus Kanga about Stephen Hawking, and he told that Stephen Hawking is the worthy inheritor of Isaac Newton, and now he has taken the chair of Isaac Newton in Cambridge University. The writer, he started his walking tour, and he quite forgot about that person who was also paralyzed, and he was the author of the book A Brief History of Time. One similarity was there. Both the great personalities, means Stephen Hawking and Firdaus Kanga, both of them were unable to move. Both of them were unable to stand. Both of them were in wheelchair. Firdaus Kanga and Stephen Hawking, both of them were leading their life in wheelchair. Both of them were unable to stand or move. Okay. So when the walking tour was done, the writer ran towards the telephone booth, and he phoned Stephen Hawking for an interview. He asked for only 10 minutes, but he was granted half an hour. Okay, and then the writer says that he felt weak. Why he felt weak? The reason is given that when you are disabled and you are growing up, and at that time when people suggest you to be brave, at that time it is very it is not inspiring thought of those persons, and thinking this, the writer felt weak, and he tells us that only the things that make a disabled stronger is to look to see another person like him who is achieving or who has achieved something huge, okay, something enormous. The writer says that when the people come to you and they say that you should be brave, this thing does not motivate you, but the things which makes him stronger, that is what, to see a person like you, means to see a person, if you are disabled and you are seeing a person who is also disabled, but he has achieved something great, that is the motivational thing, okay? And after that you will be able to know about the possibilities, and you will get whatever you have never expected, okay? The writer asked many questions to Stephen Hawking, and Stephen Hawking replied all the questions. The writer asked that a lot of people, the writers asked that a lot of people says that disabled people are very unhappy. So he wanted to know the opinion of Stephen Hawking. Then Stephen Hawking said that when people encourage him at that time, he finds it very amusing. And when the people comes to him and they encourage him that he is disabled, he should be brave, at that time Stephen Hawking says that he finds it very amusing, okay? Again the writer asked that what is the best thing about being disabled? Then Stephen Hawking replied that there was nothing good about being disabled. So every time the writer, who was sitting in his wheelchair and he was looking towards his watch, and he wanted to make every one of 30 minutes very important. And when the writer saw Stephen Hawking, at that time he found many possibilities, and when he thought about the possibilities of his body, at that time he felt a huge relief and joy. He was very happy to see the possibilities in his body, and he thought that how little it mattered though he was unable to walk or even stand. Means he thought that he was unable to walk or unable to stand, but he had many possibilities in his bodies in spite of being disabled, okay? So at last he asked that Stephen Hawking if there was any advice for the disabled people, something that might help to make their life better. Then the very important thing, the very important lessons for the disabled that was given by Stephen Hawking. He said that they should concentrate on what they are good at. The disabled persons, the handicapped persons should concentrate on what they are good at. And he said that they should not take part in Olympics. It is only a waste of time. To take part in Olympics is only a waste of time. They should concentrate on what they are good at. Okay? So now the time was up. half an hour that was up, and the writer said that he should leave now, he should go now. Then Stephen Hawking said that he should have some tea also, and he said that he wanted to show Firdaus Khan his garden. Stephen Hawking wanted to show his own garden to Firdaus Khan. So both the persons sitting in their wheelchair went towards the garden of Stephen Hawking, and after an hour later the writer was ready to leave. He was ready to part. After an hour later, the writer was ready to depart from there. He said that he did not know what to do, so he could not kiss him or he could not cry. Only he touched the shoulder of Stephen Hawking and came out in that summer evening. He looked back, the writer looked back, and he said that he knew that he was also waving his hands, though he was unable to wave. But through his heart, he was also waving his hands. And when the writer was towards him, he said that that person was incarnation of the bravest self, and the person to whom I had believed in for so many years. And he said that he knew that his journey was over. His journey was successful, his journey was completely over. Okay, so students, this chapter is completed. Okay. Students, now see the poem When I Sing Out for Lyonnesse. This poem is composed by Thomas Hardy. Students, I will tell you the brief summary of this poem. When the poet was a young architect, at that time, once he visited a church to supervise the condition of that church. And when he returned from that church, people noticed two changes in him. There was a glow, there was a magic in his eyes, and also there was a folded paper that was coming out of the pocket of the poet. So just listen to me very carefully. When the poet went for Lyonnesse, that was 100 miles away, there was the frost. The frost was on the leaves and branches of the trees, and the starlight helped the writer in the night when he was alone. What had happened at Lyonnesse when the writer when the poet stayed there? What had happened? It could not be declared, it could not be predicted by the prophet or by the wisest wizard. So when the poet visited the church at Lyonnesse, what had happened there? It could not be told by the prophet, it could not be told by any prophet or the wisest wizard. Okay? But when the poet returned from that church, when the poet returned from Lyonnesse, there was a magic, there was a glow, magical glow in his eyes, and all the persons, they all were in doubt. Only they were gazing that glow, only they were gazing about that magical glow, and the glow was so deep that can't be measured. and there was also some folded paper that was coming out of the coat pocket of the poet. Okay, when the poet returned from Lyonnesse, when the poet returned from the church. Okay, so students, thus this poem is also completed, and your English reader chapters revision is over. Students, you will revise the chapters of periodic test second also. You will revise yourself. The video is on YouTube. You can see the video, and that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.